Good morning, everyone. How's your morning? Before we start our class today, I would like to remind you to observe the online class protocols. Mute your microphones if you're not called. And if you would like to ask some questions or clarifications with our discussion today, kindly tap the raise hand icon for you to be given a chance to speak. And if you're not really comfortable, you may turn off your camera. Alright, so let us start. Last meeting, we had a discussion regarding translation. I'm sure you remember that when we translate, always there is something missing on it. So definitely we could say that there is no such thing as exact translation. Now today, we will proceed with Skopos theory of translation. Our objectives are first, for you to be able to explain why Skopos theory has been considered as a shift in translation studies. Second, to differentiate Skopos theory from previous translation studies. Lastly, to enumerate the 6 basic rules of Skopos theory of translation. While I am discussing about it, kindly jot down some notes. Although we will have a recording of our discussion today, so that you can go back to it as your reference. Let us start. I will now direct you to the video discussion that I made regarding this topic. Hi, Christy here. Welcome to our discussion about Skopos theory of translation. First thing that you need to know that the word Skopos is a Greek term which means purpose. It is a technical term encompassing the purpose of translation and the action of translating. This theory was first developed by this guy on 1978, and his name is Hans Vermeer. In Skopos theory, translation is considered as a communicative activity wherein the purpose of the target text is the top priority to determine how to translate the text. Skopos theory is among the functional theories of translation that basically used communicative approach to the analysis of translation. It started in Germany in 1970 and 80s, giving a shift from the linguistic typologies or categorization type of translation into a more culturally considerate one. What is considered to be the major work in this theory was that of Ries and Vermeer, written in 1984, entitled Towards a General Theory of Translational Action. Now you might ask, why is the purpose being given importance in this theory? According to this theory, a text is written for a specific purpose, and it is this purpose that the translator of a text should work into to achieve instead of just aiming for an equivalent translation of the source text. The main rule here is for the translator to be able to translate the text based on the reason why the text is translated, meaning the main consideration is on what the target user wants the translation for. As what Vermeer said, translate, interpret, speak, or write in a way that enables your text or translation to function in the situation in which it is used and with the people who want to use it, and precisely in the way they want it to function. The purpose then determines the methods and strategies to be used when translating the text. What is being sought is for the translatum or translated text to have a global function in each culture, meaning it should be functionally adequate. While translating, the translatum should have similar impact just like the source text. Skopos theory follows 6 basic rules. Number 1, a translated text is determined by its scopus. Number 2, a translated text is a message in a target culture concerning a message in a source culture. Number 3, a translated text is not clearly reversible. 4, a translated text must be internally coherent. 5, a translated text must be internally coherent with the source text. And last, the rules above stand in hierarchical order with the Skopos rule predominating. Let us now discuss what these rules mean. Rule 1 is the superior of all rule such that the translated text is regulated by its purpose. Rule 2 means both the source text and translated text have particular function in their specific linguistic and cultural context, such that their function may not be necessarily the same. Whereas 4 and 5 give us the idea on how to evaluate the success of a translation by judging its functional adequacy, which consists of coherence rule and fidelity rule. As explained by Rees and Vermeer, coherence rule means the translated text must make sense to its receivers considering their circumstances, knowledge, and needs, whereas fidelity rule means there should be consistency between the translated text and source text. In general, it is the job of the translator to ensure that the translated text achieve its purpose first, then see to it that it is coherent with that of the source text. But just like any other theories, Skopos theory has been questioned and criticized. But the most important advantage this theory has is that it permits the possibility that the same text may be translated in different ways depending on the purpose of translation. Since we are done watching the video, what I would like you to do now is to raise your questions and your clarifications if you have one. Okay, there are no questions. Let us now proceed to our activity for this topic. I would like you to answer these questions. Number 1, why Skopos theory has been considered as a shift in translation studies. Number 2, what makes Skopos theory different from previous translation studies. And number 3, what are the 6 basic rules of Skopos theory of translation? So you'll have 30 minutes to answer this activity, after which I'll be needing some volunteers to read their answer. Okay? So we are finally done with our discussion for today. Hope you'll have a great day ahead, guys, and see you next meeting.